Libra, you asked for a sign, not out loud perhaps, not formally, but on one of those nights when you couldn't sleep, when your mind wouldn't stop spinning trying to understand why a relationship that should be simple was becoming so complicated. You looked at the ceiling and thought, please, show me what's happening. Show me who's causing this. Because you felt it. You felt that something was wrong. Something that wasn't just you. Something that wasn't just the other person. But something external. Something or someone creating distance where there shouldn't be any. And the signal arrived. Or it's arriving now. At this very moment. While you listen to this, because signs don't always come like lightning from the sky. Sometimes the information arrives at the right time. The pieces are finally falling into place. Like you suddenly seeing what was always there but you couldn't name. And that's what's happening now. The revelation you asked for. About people you never suspected. Doing something you never imagined. So take a deep breath. Because what I'm about to reveal to you will change how you see certain relationships in your life. There's someone close to you, someone you trust, someone who presents themselves as a friend, as family, as someone who wants what's best for you. And this person is systematically, deliberately, strategically creating distance between you and another important person in your life. And you didn't even realize it. Because Libra, you are so focused on harmony, so committed to seeing the best in everyone, so willing to believe in good faith, that you don't see manipulation when it comes wrapped in concern. And this person is a master at deception. She never speaks ill of you directly. She never says you should stay away. She's more subtle than that, much more dangerous than that. She plants seeds, small doubts, casual comments that stick in your head, questions that seem innocent but make you question. And you, being a Libra, you take those seeds and water them, because you analyze, you consider, you see angles, and each angle you see distances you a little further from the person she wants to distance you from. But why? Why would anyone do that? Let me tell you the reasons. And while I'm talking, pay attention, because one of these reasons will resonate. It will make you think of someone specific, and when that happens, when you feel that inner click, you'll know who it is. First reason, control. This person wants you available. They want you dependent on them. They want you as a source of energy, validation and support. And the person you're getting closer to, this person gives you what the manipulator gave you, only better, healthier, more reciprocal. And the manipulator feels threatened, feels like they're losing control. So they act, not by pushing you away from them, but by pushing you away from alternatives. Second reason, envy. You have a connection with someone she wishes she had, or you're happy in a way she can't be, or you're growing beyond her and she can't stand it. And instead of working on herself, instead of seeking her own happiness, she prefers to destroy yours. It's not obvious, not dramatic, but drop by drop, comment by comment, until the connection that made you happy is poisoned. Third reason, competition. The person you're close to is someone she also wants, romantically, professionally, socially, and instead of competing directly, instead of showing her own worth, she prefers to diminish yours. She prefers to make you seem problematic, complicated, difficult, so that when the person compares you, she seems like an easier, simpler, more attractive option. And do you know how she does that? Let me give you specific examples. Examples so specific that you'll recognize them. She twists her words to describe the third party. You confide something in her, something vulnerable, something you're processing, and she goes to the person and tells them, but not exactly as you said it. She tells an edited version, a version that makes you seem worse, more critical, more negative, more problematic, and the person listens and thinks, wow, I didn't know she thought that about me. And you don't even know this conversation happened. She creates misunderstandings and doesn't clarify things. She sends you a message and she sees it, or the person talks about you and she hears it, and there's ambiguity. There are ways to interpret it that are negative. And she doesn't clarify, she doesn't give context. She lets the person think worse, because each misunderstanding is a brick in the wall she's building between you. She is always worried. Did you see how so-and-so looked at you? Don't you think it's strange that so-and-so said that? Does so-and-so really value you? And you, wanting harmony, wanting everything to be all right, you listen, and you start to doubt, you start to question, you start to see problems where perhaps there weren't any. She offers support while isolating you. I'm here for you. You can count on me. I understand you when nobody else does. And it sounds beautiful. It sounds like true friendship. Except that every time she offers support, she also adds poison. So-and-so doesn't deserve you. You need people who truly see you. And you mistake poison for wisdom. You mistake isolation for care. And let me give you more specific signs that you've probably already seen but didn't connect with. She always appears when you're vulnerable, when you've argued with someone, when you're confused, when you're questioning, and she doesn't appear to help you solve things. She appears to amplify the doubt, to add more confusion, to turn a small crack into an abyss, because she doesn't want you to solve things. She wants you to give up. She asks questions that seem innocent, but are actually investigative. How's it going with so-and-so? Do you still talk every day? Did so-and-so mention what you said? She's mapping things out, measuring proximity, calculating how much work still needs to be done. And your answers will come from the information she uses against you. She uses it to know where to attack next. She celebrates when you walk away. You tell her you had a disagreement, that you haven't spoken to people in days, that you're thinking of giving her space. And she doesn't encourage you to resolve things. She says you're right, that you deserve better, that maybe it's a sign to distance yourself for good. And it seems like support, but it's poison. It's her reinforcing the distance she created. And here's the cruelest part. She does all this while making you feel like she's your best friend. She's the first person you call when you're sad. She's the person you confide your secrets to. She's someone who always has time for you. And you think that's love. You think that's true friendship. But true love can't be manipulated. True friendship can't be isolated. And the sooner you understand the difference, the sooner you set yourself free. And now comes the part that will hurt. But you need to hear it. You already knew. Not consciously, not clearly, but a part of you already knew, already felt it, already had that strange feeling when that person said certain things, that discomfort you couldn't name, that feeling that something was off but you couldn't quite put your finger on it, and you ignored it. Because Libra hates conflict, hates admitting that someone close might have bad intentions, so you rationalized, created alternative explanations, gave them the benefit of the doubt, but the doubt he finished. Why did you ask for a sign? The sign is coming in the form of you finally connecting the dots, finally seeing patterns, finally realizing that every time you get close to a certain person, that third person appears with a comment, with a question, with concern. And it's not a coincidence, it's strategy. And how will you be sure? How will you confirm it? Observe. Over the next few days, observe. Observe how this person reacts when you mention the person they're trying to distance you from. Observe their expression. Observe their tone. Observe if they deflect, if they change the subject, if they immediately add a negative comment disguised as neutral. Observe if they ask for too many details, if they want to know everything about your interactions, because they are monitoring, they are gauging distance, they are calculating their next move. And take the test. A simple but revealing test. Tell her something positive about the person, something good that happened between you two, and observe her reaction. If she's genuinely happy for you, if she celebrates without adding buts, you were wrong. But if she gets tense, if her energy changes, if she immediately finds a way to diminish the moment, you have an answer, because the person who truly loves you celebrates your happiness. They don't sabotage it. And there's another test that never fails. Stop sharing with her for a week. She doesn't reveal anything about the person, nothing about how things are going, and she observes what happens. She'll get anxious. She'll start fishing for information. She'll ask more direct questions. She'll even make excuses to bring up the subject, because she needs information to continue manipulating. And when the source dries up, she panics, and panic reveals her true face. And when you confirm it, when you know for sure, you'll feel a wave of emotions. You'll feel anger. Anger at having been manipulated. Anger at having wasted time. anger at almost having lost someone important because of third-party games. And that anger is valid. Feel it. You'll feel sadness. Sadness at realizing that the person you considered an ally was an enemy in disguise. Sadness at having to reevaluate the entire relationship. Sadness at realizing how much you were used. Feel that too. But you will feel something more important than anger or sadness. You will feel relief. Relief at finally understanding, finally making sense of it. At realizing that the problem wasn't you. It wasn't your inability to maintain relationships. It wasn't you being difficult or complicated. It was external interference. And knowing that liberates you, because you stop blaming yourself, you stop questioning yourself, and you start to see clearly. And what do you do with that information? First, don't confront her yet. Not in anger, not in the moment of discovery, because if you confront her now, she'll deny it. She'll turn on you, she'll make you seem paranoid. And because she's good at manipulating, she might even make you doubt what you know. So you breathe, process, and plan. Second, reconnect with the person she tried to push you away from. And this reconnection needs to be done carefully, because the other person was also affected. They also received a distorted version of you. They were also manipulated into thinking things that aren't true. So you approach it with humility, with openness. And you say something like, I feel that something has created distance between us, and I don't fully understand what it is, but I know I don't want this distance. Do you feel that way too? And the way the person responds tells you everything. If the person, she says yes, that she felt it too, that she was also confused, and you have confirmation. And you can, if you feel it's safe, reveal what you discovered. Not with drama, but with facts. I realized that so-and-so always talks about you in a way that creates doubt in me. And I realized that she does the same to me for you. And I don't want to allow that anymore. And if the person is mature, if the person also sees patterns, you come together. And your union, it's manipulative kryptonite. Because it only has power when you are separated, when you are confused, when you don't communicate directly. But when you talk, when you compare notes, when you see manipulation together, its power dies. But if the person doesn't respond well, if the person is defensive or too distant, you accept it. Accept that perhaps the damage has already been done, that perhaps distance was necessary for other reasons as well. And you let go peacefully, because you did your part. You reached out, and if your hand wasn't accepted, it's not about you. It's about where the other person is, and you can't force it. Third, establish boundaries with the manipulative person. And here you have choices. If this person is a friend, it's relatively simple. You distance yourself, gradually or abruptly, depending on what you can handle. You stop sharing, you stop trusting, you stop giving access. And when they notice and question you, you can be honest, or you can simply say you need space. But what if that person is family? What if it's a mother, father, sister, aunt? Then it gets complicated, because you can't simply cut them off. Or you can, but the costs are higher. So you do things differently. You establish internal boundaries. You go to family events but don't share your personal life. You're cordial but not intimate. You protect information, and you never ever discuss important relationships in their presence. And regarding confrontation, if you decide to do it with facts, not emotions. I noticed that every time I mentioned so-and-so, you add a negative comment. I noticed that you twisted my words when you spoke so-and-so. Specific, concrete, no room for denial. And then you wait. You wait to see if she takes responsibility or if she attacks. And her response will tell you if the relationship is salvageable or not. If she takes responsibility, if she genuinely apologizes, if she shows vulnerability about why she did it, you can consider rebuilding, but with open eyes, with clear boundaries, with trust that needs to be re-earned. And you observe actions in the following months, because real change shows in sustained behavior, not in momentary excuses. If she denies it, if she plays you crazy, if she plays the victim, you know she won't change. And you cut her off? Clean, definitive. Because people who manipulate and then deny it when caught are people who will continue manipulating. They'll just get better at hiding it. And there's something deeper here that you need to understand. this situation, this manipulation, it's not just about her. It's about you. It's about the pattern you have, the pattern of trusting too quickly, of giving too much access, of valuing harmony over truth, and that pattern needs to break, because this isn't the first person who has manipulated you. And if you don't learn the lesson, it won't be the last. So the question is, why do I attract people like that? And the answer, it can be uncomfortable. You might be giving off the energy of someone who can be controlled, who won't confront, who will always give the benefit of the doubt, who will always choose peace over justice. And manipulative people, they sense it, they gravitate towards it, because you're an easy target. And I'm not saying this to hurt you, I'm saying it to wake you up, because you need to become a difficult target. You need to become a person who questions, who verifies, who doesn't accept everything at face value, who sets boundaries early, who cuts things off when necessary without endless agonizing. And that doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't make you cynical. It makes you healthy. It makes you protected. It makes you the master of your own life. And specifically about Libra and why you are so vulnerable to it. You were created to seek balance, to see all sides, to be fair. And those are beautiful qualities, but they are also vulnerable when used against you, because manipulators know that you will listen to their side, that you will consider their perspective, that you will give them chance after chance because you believe in redemption, and they use that. They use your own kindness as a weapon against you. And the solution isn't for you to become cruel. It's not for you to stop being fair or balanced. It's for you to learn to apply these qualities with discernment. It's for you to understand that some people don't deserve the benefit of the doubt, that some situations don't have two equal sides, that sometimes balance isn't about giving infinite chances, but about giving a fair chance and then protecting yourself. And what about the person she tried to push you away from? When you reconnect, when you rebuild, it will be different. It will be better, because now you know its value. You know there are people who want to destroy it, and that makes you value it more. It makes you take better care of it. It makes you not take it for granted. And a relationship that survives external interference and comes out stronger, that relationship is real, that relationship is worthwhile. But it also considers the possibility that distance was necessary, not because of a manipulative person, but because maybe you needed perspective, maybe you were idealizing things too much, maybe you need time away to see if the lack is real or just a habit. And if upon reconnecting you realize that the connection isn't what you thought, that the distance actually revealed real incompatibility, that's okay. At least you know, and you won't be haunted by the ghost of what if the manipulative person hadn't interfered. And here is the final truth about the sign you asked for. The sign isn't just a revelation about her. It's a revelation about you. It's a mirror showing you where you need to grow, where you need to set boundaries, where you need to trust your intuition more, because you always knew, you just didn't want to believe it. And the difference between you now and you after processing this, afterwards you will trust what you know, you will act when your body warns you, you won't ignore red flags for fear of conflict. And in the coming days, as you process, as you observe, as you confirm, you may have more revelations. You can see that she did this to other people, that she has a pattern of isolating people, of creating dependency, of always being the one in the middle, controlling information, controlling the narrative, controlling relationships. And when you see a pattern, when you see that it wasn't just with you, you might feel even more anger. But you can also feel compassion, because why does a person need to control like that? Why does a person need to manipulate like that? They are deeply insecure. They are terrified of being abandoned. They are convinced that they can only have people in their lives if they manipulate them to stay. And compassion does not mean tolerating. You can understand why she does it and still not accept it. You can empathize with her wound and still protect yourself. You can wish for her to heal and still not be the one to stay and try to heal her. Because you are not responsible for saving the person who hurts you. You are responsible for protecting yourself. And about fear, you'll be afraid that if you cut her off, if you set boundaries, she'll turn other people against you. And she might try. She probably will, because that's what she does. But here's the truth. People who really know you won't believe her. People who really see you won't be manipulated, and people who believe her without listening to you, those people weren't yours anyway. So you let it go. Let her tell her side of the story. Let her try to paint you as the villain, and you continue living in truth, in integrity, in alignment with who you truly are. And truth always comes out, always. It may take time, but it does. And months from now, when you look back and see how your life has changed after removing the toxic influence, you will be grateful. You'll be grateful you asked for a sign. You'll be grateful you had the courage to see. You'll be grateful you acted, because removing her created space. And that space allowed better things to enter, better people, healthier relationships, a version of you that doesn't tolerate manipulation. And this version of you? This version is different. It attracts people who don't need to manipulate, who are direct, who are honest, who respects you too much to play games. And when you experience a relationship like that, a real relationship based on mutual respect, you understand what you were accepting before, and you never accept it again. Then the sign arrived. The revelation is happening. And you have a choice. You can remain blind because it's more comfortable, or you can see, act, and transform. And Libra, you didn't come into this world to live in comfortable illusion. You came to live in clear truth, even when the truth hurts. Because the pain of seeing the truth is temporary, but the damage of living a lie is permanent. So look, confirm, act, and free yourself. Because on the other side of that liberation is a version of you that is not manipulable, that is not controllable, that is not isolable. A version that knows its own worth, that protects its energy, that consciously chooses relationships. And that version is who you always were, but forgot while trying to keep the peace with people who never wanted peace, only control. And now you know, and you know how to change everything.